want to deal with three things that has come repeatedly, and I think the church is dancing around it, but somebody must have the courage to confront it. All the videos on my platform, I get to see comments. I find time to read comments, and then I get into DMs from time to time to respond when I have the time. Sometimes when I'm flying, I just take the time to respond. And repeatedly among singles, I don't know why you will not naturally expect that this conversation should be predominant in the church, but amazingly, that is where this whole conversation is coming from. Church people. There are quite a number of them, but I've decided to zero in on three of them today. And number one is pornography. Number two is masturbation. Number three is cohabitation. Does that sound like something serious? Absolutely. So we want to talk about overcoming. If you have not been tempted by it, if you have not experienced it, let me use today to prepare you against it. If you are in it, let me use today to call you out of it. If you've been in it before, maybe today will give you a significant reason not to go back there again. So I want to talk to you about overcoming pornography, masturbation, and cohabitation. Pastor Sam, what has that got to do with those of us who are singles? It has everything. Let me give you a practical example. A lady called me yesterday. I think I was on my way from Calabar, flying into Abuja. And the lady said she wanted to talk with me. Somehow she got my number. And I said, go ahead and talk to me. I said, what's the problem? She said, it's with the guy that I'm in relationship with. She said, I'm in Lagos currently. I was based in Abuja before. And I said, what exactly is the problem? She said, well, this guy initially showed up like a church person, very spiritual and all of that, and gave her an impression he wants to marry her. And because she is somebody who is involved with handwork, she was told that it would be better for her to come over to Lagos, that she will do well in Lagos. And of course, a lot of people do better in Lagos when it comes to some career. And she decided to relocate to Lagos, but she didn't have the money to rent a place. So the young man said, no problem, come stay with me. Big mistake. No problem. This is the guy I want to marry. So she said somebody even told her that she should get to know him better, that by living together, she gets to know him better. So she moved into his house. And this lady said to me, Reverend Sam, in fact, I was so angry yesterday. I said, if I have my way, I'm going to make sure that we institute a case. I have somebody who is in the criminal division of the police in Lagos, the senior person. I felt tempted to call so that they can get this guy arrested. When this girl began to share with me the kind of experiences she has gone through, so he will beat her, break her nose, she will be bleeding, then he will be dragging her around the house. So there will be blood everywhere in the house. I'm saying blood everywhere. Then when he is done, he will use rag to clean the ones he can, and then mandate her to clean blood out of the house. And then when he is done, he will then come to demand for sex. I'm telling you what goes on. Now, but she didn't tell me about that side of it, but as a trained person, I know wherever physical abuse is present in a closed environment, sexual abuse always follows. I said, sweetheart, you've gone through sexual abuse, you don't want to talk about it. And she said, sir, I have to open up and tell you this is what has happened. I said, what is it? She said, because he's a very tall guy. Tall, dark, and handsome. Okay. She said, because he is a very tall guy and she's of average height. But sometimes you will not believe what I'm telling you. She said he will carry her, twist, I don't know how he does it. He would twist her legs behind, then he will punch her shoulder. She said, sir, that will totally disarm her, and that he will do whatever he wants with her because her legs are in twisted position. That he has a way of using his legs to trap her legs. I am angry as I'm talking to you. It might make you feel like you want to smile. I want you to imagine you are the girl waking up with that kind of situation. And you might feel like, now, waiting to her. May you not find one that she never knew he was such. She got home to find out that he is one. Twist her legs. Use his height and everything to keep her under control. Do whatever he wants to do. And she said again, she'll be bleeding. He finishes and he walks out of the house. He comes back and tells her to clean up the place. And when she's withdrawn, because she still have to stay there, she has nowhere else to go. Who is she going to tell? When he comes and he meets her in a wrapped up position, you say, what is wrong with you? Is it that small thing that happened that is making you to behave like this? I'm telling you what's going on. And on Sunday, he gets himself together and he goes to church. Yeah? Goes to church. I'm talking to you about what's going on. Just one choice has forever damaged her life. What choice was that? The choice to do what? Say it again. To cohabit. Just one choice. She will never, for the rest of her life, except God really helps her, she will never forget that experience. Cut a long story short, sir. All of a sudden, this same guy called her, booted out of the house, told her to come. And he will open her bag, check the bag, say, nothing from my house must enter your bag. Get out of my house. Like she said, he was checking her bag to make sure no toilet roll. Gave her nothing. She left with nothing. She lost everything. Let me introduce some of you. I'm sure they will show you the slides. There's not so much I can share with you on the slide. But let me introduce some of you to a concept in psychology that we call operant conditioning. Follow me carefully today. This might be one of the best teachings, but you will need sound mind to catch up with me. There is a concept in psychology, for those of you who are students of psychology, there is a concept called operant conditioning, which undergirds what we call the law of behavioral momentum. Now, this law states that we repeat what is rewarded. We as human beings, we repeat what rewards us. And then whatever is costly or painful, we reduce it. or eventually we stop it. If it costs me pain, it costs me pain. I eventually have to reduce my interaction with whatever is a source of pain. Is that correct? Anything that gives you pain, you walk away from. But anything that gives you pleasure, anything that rewards you, anything that makes you happy, the brain is wired to send you back there. Is that correct? The lady never saw a reason why she should eventually summon up the courage to walk away from this guy until the beatings began to become unbearable. All right? So the point we're making here is that operant condition improves one thing. That behavior is usually shaped by consequences or by cost. The way we behave is usually shaped by the consequences that we get, which includes reward or cost. Meaning, I will continue to do what gives me pleasure. All right? If I always have a way of talking to girls and they come to my house and I end up sleeping with them and I get pleasure from that. See, because I always get rewarded by such behavior, what's going to happen to such behavior? I will continue such behavior. But if I touch one girl and it landed me in prison where police people bet me so very well, now the next time I see another girl, it will create a sense of what? Caution. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Now, how many of you have ever carried a pressing iron and mistakenly your hand touched the surface when it was hot? Anybody with you? Fantastic. Has anybody ever mistakenly touched a pot that was very hot? Glory. Why did your hand move so quickly? I'm only speaking. I've never landed. You know, see, it's called trauma. You can remember. Is that okay? Very good. Next time when you want to carry a pot because you've been burnt, have you noticed that the next thing you want to do is you want to be careful? You either touch it to be sure it's not that hot, or you get something to carry it. Okay? So in operant conditioning, we say that behavior that rewards us, we always continue in such. But behaviors that cost us so much, almost cost me my life, almost cost me my job, almost cost me opportunity, my reputation. What do we do with such behaviors? We walk away from such behavior. So reward increases behavior. Cost reduces bad behavior. There are 4 major drivers. When it comes to behavior, there are 4 major behavioral mechanics in psychology. 4 major behaviors. Number 1 is what we call the negative reinforcement. Number 2 is positive reinforcement. Follow me because I really want to open your eyes to some things today. There are 4 major drivers of behaviors. The first one is what we call positive reinforcement. Then there is a second one we call negative reinforcement. There's what we call punishment, and then there is what we call response cost. Let me take them one after the other. When it comes to positive reinforcement, we are saying that whenever pleasure increases, behavior grows. Positive reinforcement. Meaning that if I enjoy the thing, I will continue the behavior that made me enjoy the thing. So please follow carefully, because this is going to take us to pornography, masturbation, that has become a thing in the church that nobody seems to be able to deal with decisively. So note this. In operant behavior, one of the drivers of it is positive reinforcement. The other one is negative reinforcement. Let's start with positive reinforcement. Anytime I have increased pleasure from anything, I will always go back to that thing. Anything that gives me increased pleasure. Please write that down. That's very key in our conversation. Increased pleasure attracts return patronage. Increased pleasure always attracts a return. I enjoyed it, so I go back to it. I liked it, so I go back to it. Keep your eyes on the word pleasure. Keep your eyes on the word pleasure, because pleasure trains repetition. Write it down. Pleasure trains repetition. Pleasure is the foundation for repetition. Meaning, it's not that the thing is strong, it's just that the thing gives me caparadosia. Are you getting what we're saying now? So this is not about that thing is very difficult for me to overcome. No. It's not that it's difficult to overcome. The reason why I say it's difficult to overcome, now I am understanding that the reason why I can't stop it is because I enjoy what? Can I hear it? The pleasure in it. So what takes me back to it is the pleasure I get from it. This will make you understand what drives drug addiction. It's the same concept, all right? It's positive reinforcement. That's why if you notice when you travel, the Chinese people, whenever you are passing by their restaurant, there's something the Chinese people always do. They always stay outside with their meat and all of that. Those of you that have traveled know what I'm talking about. Then they want to say, hey, sorry, it's a test. Yeah, try it. What are they trying to do? They want to get you hooked up, okay? Because the moment you taste and see, is that okay? That's the concept. It is to awaken your desire for pleasure so that pleasure can be the basis for return. Oh, glory be to God. So I'm trying to show you how the devil works in these days. The whole idea is to introduce pleasure to you, and pleasure then becomes the reason for return. So we're not battling with the thing. We're battling with what the thing offers. Sex is not what we are battling with. What are we battling with? The pleasure that we get from sex. Sex offers pleasure. God did not create sex as a bad thing. God created sex to give pleasure. But the issue with pleasure that you get from sex is that you are not to be exposed to it until certain times, when certain things have been put in place, which includes the fact that you've been legally married. That's why the book of Solomon says, awaken not my love. Don't awake it. Oh, glory be to God. Don't awake it. What you're about to start may send you on a spiral way downward beyond recovery. So you're not battling with a strong thing. You're battling with a pleasurable thing. It's the pleasure that you find difficult to overcome. We will deal with how to overcome pleasure today. So one of the major drivers of behavior is positive reinforcement, which is behavior driven by pleasure gotten. Positive reinforcement. Behavior that continues because of the pleasure you get from the thing. The thing may be bad, but the pleasure is good. You get what I'm saying now? The thing may not be right for you now, but the pleasure you get from it is something you can't walk away from. You love the pleasure. Number two is what we call negative reinforcement. Follow me carefully now. Now, in positive reinforcement, you are hooked onto a behavior because of the pleasure you get. In negative reinforcement, you are hooked onto a behavior because of the kind of discomfort it decreases. So negative reinforcement gives you relief. You're gonna get closer now. One gives you sweet stuff. Positive reinforcement. It puts sugar in your mouth. Positive reinforcement. So when you drink the sugar cane, you get the sugar from it. Is that okay? So you always want to go for the cane because you have the sugar in the cane. Are you getting what I'm saying here, sir? Who wants to live with the cane? The cane is not something you really want to live with for the rest of your life. But the sugar that you get from the inside will make you even carry it as if it's something pleasurable. All right? It's the pleasure you get from the cane that keeps you to the cane, that keeps you with the cane. So positive reinforcement has to do with pleasure I get. Watch this now. In negative reinforcement, we are talking about the fact that there are things that stresses me. But anytime I do this thing, it takes that thing away. So anytime I'm stressed up and I do this, the stress is gone. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So whenever I am stressed again, what do? I go back there and then I do whatever I have to do so that I can get rid of stress. Okay? Now, once that is the experience, this thing always takes away from me stress. This thing always takes away from me boredom. This thing always takes away from me sexual pressure. All right? So because of that, I do it. Okay? And when I do it, I feel relief. Now, anytime again I am stressed, I go back to the same. It takes away from me the stress. And then I get relief. It creates a loop. That's how you get into what we call the loop of bad behavior. One makes me happy. One gives me joy. One puts pleasure right at the center of my heart. The other one takes away from me what we call stressors. It takes stressors away from me. Now, so because of that, I'm always going back to it. Anytime I watch the movie, I watch all this particular movie, there's this thing it takes away. It makes me sleep. There's this thing that always happens anytime I enter the bathroom and I masturbate myself. There's this thing it does to me. So negative reinforcement deals with the stress relief that I get from engaging in a behavior. Are you following what I'm saying here? We need to lay the foundation. So whenever discomfort is decreased, what then happens is behavior grows. Anything that decreases my discomfort, anything I do that decreases my discomfort, I want to engage in it more and more. All right? For instance, I go to drink. As you know, I was worried about something, but when I started drinking, binging and all that kind of, I forget about the whole stuff. So wow. Okay. So what happens again? I do what whenever I feel that way, I go back. Okay? So follow that carefully. Number 3. Wow. So write this down. Relief strengthens bad habits. The relief we get can strengthen bad habits. The relief you get from something can strengthen a bad habit. Number 3, is what we call punishment. Punishment. We're talking about what drives behavior. So watch this carefully. Anytime there is increased discomfort from anything I do, what normally happens to me? I don't do it again. Is that correct? Anything that results in discomfort, I don't do it again. That's too hard. That's why many of us run away from mathematics. Physics. God seems just looking good. Now I don't understand. The teacher is talking, you are looking, I no get them. Yeah? All right. So because of that, you don't return to that class. But this class, the man just telling stories, history class. I like this teacher. Okay? Let's get down. So punishment, which has to do with increased discomfort. Don't forget that when we look at negative reinforcement, what negative reinforcement does is to make sure it looks at what makes me uncomfortable. And then through a behavior, it gets rid of that uncomfortable situation or discomfort. But in punishment, Instead of you taking away the discomfort, you introduce what? Discomfort. As a result of that, I avoid such behavior.